feeling so small. Watch the clock ticking off the wall. But tonight I'm letting it go. Spend my coin for sure.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Thanks for joining me today. I'm Egg-Cited. We have a collab today, and the host is Krista from Krista's Crafty Life, and myself as the co-host from Craftastic DIYs. All right, I have a really fun video for you guys and a lot of really cute Easter DIY. So let's start with this first one. All right, I'm taking this Dollar Tree little egg sign, and I'm just going to mix the pink, baby pink paint and the white just to give myself a nice light pink color. I don't want to bore you too much with the painting, but I gave it about 3 coats. So I'm going to be using this white paint, and I cut out this little egg shape, cracked egg shape out of poster board from Dollar Tree. And I thought it would be a good idea to paint it because it was kind of shiny. Well, just heads up, when you paint poster board, it kind of like bends and wrinkles. It loses its shape. All right, so everything's dry. Now I'm going to take my hot glue gun and just place down the little cracked egg part of the poster board. And you can see it's kind of wrinkly, and but you know, it still worked. It still looks cute. So I'm going to be using this white paint with my chippy brush and just going to lightly apply it to the top part of the egg. So this is really cute for kids, you know, kids like rabbits and stuff. So I printed this out and I just typed in Easter rabbits, and I'm taking the Mod Podge and I'm going to apply it to the back of it and just place it down. Look how cute it is. It's really cute. To make sure it stays put, I'm just putting some Mod Podge all over the top of the little rabbit. Alright, I thought I needed a little bow at the top, so I took 2 of the ribbon from Dollar Tree and just created a little bow. I'm just going to hot glue it to the top. So I'm going to trim the ends of the ribbon, although I do cut it a little bit shorter at the end. What a stinking cute little sign. It's adorable. Alright, so I'm going to take these little ceramic bunnies like Dollar Tree and this moss paint. Actually, I have 2 bunnies. I'm going to paint it with the moss paint first. I went with moss because moss is a pretty color for spring, and I love it. I'm going to paint the second bunny the same way with the moss paint. So now that they're both dry, I'm going to take this white wax and just paint both of the bunnies, and then I'm going to let it kind of like stay on the bunnies for maybe a minute or 2, and then I'm going to wipe it off. These bunnies are going to tie into the next project. Now both bunnies are coated with the white wax. Now I'm going to take a paper towel and just wipe it down a little bit. I like using the wax because it gives you that white washed effect, and you'll see at the end it really does look nice. Off camera, I decided to add little pearls to the top of the rabbit's head because there's like a little hole there, and I couldn't, there's no way to get rid of that little hole, and I just added a little tiny bow. Alright, so we're moving on to the next DIY, and I'm going to be using this cottage white paint with this Dollar Tree wood round, and I'm just going to give it one coat. Alright, so now it's dry. I'm going to take this mineral paint and I'm just going to give it that distressed look to it. So I printed out this little image, and it's like two little baby bunnies, and I'm just going to take the Mod Podge, apply it in the back, and then place it down on the wood. Look how cute this image is. It's so adorable. I loved it when I seen it. I googled it and I was like, oh, I gotta print this. It's so cute. It's so spring-like. So now I'm just spreading out the image, the Mod Podge, and then I'm going to put some Mod Podge on top as well. So now I'm going to take these rub-ons that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to spell out the word spring. I could have used my Cricut, but I thought this would be easier, and it wasn't. I had a lot of problems with it wouldn't stick, and so I had to do most of it off camera. So I finally got it to work and it looks good. Patience is a virtue, I guess. So now I want to make a little bow at the top. So I'm going to take two of these ribbons that I got from Joann, and I'm just going to put them together and just create a little bow at the top. So I'm using my hot glue gun. I'm just going to place down the ribbon. The earlier project that I did with the little clay rabbits, or the ceramic rabbits I should say, it's going to go with this one. You'll see at the end they're going to be together. And look how super cute it came out. It's adorable. Alright, moving on to the next one. I grabbed a bunch of these little plates from Dollar Tree. They're like little plastic Easter, it's in the Easter section. And I took these little buttons, they look like little sticker buttons, and I'm just going to place one button down and leave a space, and then place another button down. So then I'm going to take this, I think it's ivory, and I'm just going to give it 2 coats. So when I seen these plates, I knew I wanted to paint it, but I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with it. Then I don't know if you guys ever watched Sammy Unicorn Dust. She was doing the same thing with the plates. I was like, oh, this is a great idea. So my inspiration came from Sammy from Unicorn Dust. So I'm also painting the back of it as well because, you can see through it. They're so thin. So I'm taking this mineral paint and I'm going to distress the plate with it. So in this rabbit that I got from Dollar Tree, I just took the Hobby Lobby paper and just Mod Podged it to the top. And I'm grabbing this little cotton ball. I'm just going to hot glue it to the back of the rabbit for its tail. Now I'm going to be using this little square piece that I got from Dollar Tree and just hot glued it to the back of the rabbit. It's going to raise it up a little bit because I'm going to be putting some moss underneath it. Now I'm grabbing some Dollar Tree moss, and it's the darker one, and I'm just going to cut a little piece and start hot gluing it around the rabbit. This came out so pretty. I love this little piece. You would never assume that it was a Dollar Tree plastic plate just by looking at it. It's really cute. And here's the finished product. Alright, for this DIY, I'm taking these two Dollar Tree birdhouses, and I'm going to be painting one with the succulent color mixed with white, and then the other one is the blue cotton with white. So I'm just going to be using the white paint on the bottom base of the two birdhouses. So I'm adding white to the succulent paint to make it lighter. So I'm just going to be painting the middle part of the little birdhouses. The top of the birdhouses, I'm actually going to be using craft paper. I was going to be using the Dollar Tree contact paper because I want to give them their own unique look to them, so I used two different craft papers. For the other birdhouse, I'm taking the cotton blue and mixing it with the white, and I'm going to paint that one with that color. So I got this craft paper from Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to be applying it to the top of the little birdhouses. I decided to go with this little print with the little roses for the one that has that light green color. So I'm just going to take the craft paper, put it on top of the roof, kind of get an idea of where I need to cut it, and just run my fingers through it to give that indentation. So now I have my first piece cut. Now I'm going to take some Mod Podge and apply it to the little craft paper. Okay, so this one's complete. It looks really cute, and I will put Mod Podge on the top, and then I will trim it down and make sure, there's nothing overhanging. Now I'm going to work on the next one. So for this one, I thought this craft paper would match very well, so this is the paper I'm going to be using. Alright, so I'm going to need a base for the little birdhouses, so I took these Dollar Tree crates, and I'm going to be using two, and I grabbed these little wood poles that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I just cut it down to size, and then I'm going to put some Flora foam inside the little wood piece with some hot glue, and then I'm going to stick the rods in the middle and with some hot glue to reinforce it. Alright, so the dowel rods and everything are done. Now I'm going to take this antique wax and I'm going to start distressing everything. I want it to look, you know, old vintage look to it. So I'm just applying it to the birdhouse and to the dowel rods and the little wood crates as well. Now I'm adding the antique wax to the wood crates, and I'm going to do the dowel rods as well. And I go a little bit heavy because it's the base of it and I want it to look really rustic looking. Alright, so now I'm going to be using this moss. I'm going to place some inside the little crates. Alright, so I'm going to be hot gluing down the little birdhouses on top of the dowel rods. Hold it down for a few minutes just to make sure it wasn't going anywhere, because I only used the hot glue. But you can use super glue or, you know, E6000, anything like that. Alright, so I'm going to place down the other birdhouse as well with a little bit of glue. Alright, so I decided to add some moss around the little birdhouses, so I'm just placing it down with a little bit of glue. I think it looks really good. A little bit of moss makes it really look nice. Look how cute they came out. I love them. They're so adorable. All right, this is going to be a messy DIY. I'm taking this Dollar Tree moss, Dollar Tree glue, and a little pan because I'm going to make a bird's nest. And I grabbed some twigs from outside and a little bit of raffia. So I got a little plastic container. I put a little bit of water and glue in there. Then I'm going to pull out some moss and I'm going to shape a little nest. So I'm just pulling apart a little bit of the raffia, just making it a little bit thinner, and then I'm going to mix it in with the moss. So right now I'm just forming the little bird's nest. Alright, so now I'm going to kind of dip it in that container of glue and water and kind of get it drenched. This way, when it dries, it'll harden. This is the messy part. If you don't like getting your hands dirty, I suggest wearing gloves. Alright, so now I have enough glue and water on it, so now I'm going to place it on. I have some wax paper underneath so it doesn't seep through my stuff. Now I'm just grabbing some of the twigs that I got from outside and start placing them all around the nest area in various areas and just getting an idea where I want to put them. I also use some reindeer moss in the end. I do add a few pieces here and there. So now I'm going to have to let it dry. I'm going to place it back in the little container after I clean it. It does take 24 hours for it to actually harden and dry. So that's what it looks like once it's dried. It came out really nice. I added a little bit of the deer moss and that really topped it off pretty well. Alright, so it's dry, and I took some cardboard and made a little circle, and I put a little jute twine around the edges, and I got this little candle holder, and I'm tipping it upside down. I'm going to use it for the bird stand. So I'm going to take this antique wax and kind of like add it to the little candle holder because it's too white and we need to make it rustic looking. Now I'm going to take that piece that I made and hot glue it to the top with some hot glue. Alright, so I'm grabbing the bird's nest and I'm going to hot glue that down. Now I'm going to be placing down the eggs. This one I got from Dollar Tree and I just put some black specks to it, and then I created my own. I made it with the air dry clay, made my own and painted it. So I'm just placing down to make them look like robin eggs and this little bird that I got from Dollar Tree, and just going to place it around and make it look really nice. This ties in very nicely with the birdhouses. Look how nice it came out. Alright guys, we're on the last and final DIY. This is a cute one. A lot of the crafters are doing the little bunny. They do it a variety of different ways. They paint it, etc. I decided just to use some fabric, make it very simple, very cute. So I got this fabric from Dollar Tree. So I'm just going to take some Mod Podge and apply the fabric over. I found this to be the best way to actually put the material over the Mod Podge rather than trying to cut it and fit it, etc. So I just put the material over and you can see the Mod Podge coming through, and normally you should let it dry, but I was kind of impatient. Alright, so I'm just taking my scissors and cutting off the chunk of material around the rabbit. This way it's easier for me to actually use my knife to cut around it. So I'm using my knife right now and just cutting out around the little rabbit and trying to get all that material away from the rabbit. It's kind of hard because it's not totally dry. I was kind of rushing. Alright, so I want to make a little fuzzy tail, and I got this from Dollar Tree. It's like, I don't know, one of those little duster. I don't know. But anyways, I'm going to take a piece of it. There's a little cardboard inside. I'm just going to take that apart and I'm going to form it into a little rabbit tail. Take some hot glue and kind of form it and then place it on the rabbit. It's so cute. Look how stinking cute that bunny tail is. It's so big and fluffy. It's so adorable. Alright, this bunny is so adorable. Alright, so I'm going to make a bow out of some drop cloth that I have and just create a little strip of it and created a little bow and put it on his ear. Looks so adorable. Now I'm just creating a little bow out of this cheesecloth that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to place it right over the other bow. And that is it, and this is how it turned out. I think it came out so cute. I'm just cutting points on the ribbon, and that is it, guys. I hope you really enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed it. I really do appreciate it. And for the playlist, don't forget to take a look at the playlist of these wonderful ladies. They do a wonderful job in crafting, and I will link that in my description box below. Until next time, guys, I'll see you. Bye-bye.